Welcome back to the Arbitrate YouTube channel. Today we'll be learning how to draft a basic sleeve pattern. Okay, so we've had a lot of sleeve tutorials on the channel, and I always assume that we all can draft a basic sleeve, but somebody asked in the comment section to do a video on how to draft a basic sleeve. So this video is especially for that person and any other person that may find this tutorial helpful. Okay, so to draft a basic sleeve is very simple. You just need 3 measurements. That's your armhole measurement, your sleeve length measurement, and your round sleeve measurement. So for the armhole measurement, you just need to take measurements around your arm where you attach your sleeve. The sleeve length is where you want the sleeve to reach. It can be your elbow, your half, your full length, anywhere you want it to be. And the round sleeve is just the circumference measurement of where the sleeve is stopping. Just need to take it round like that. Shouldn't be too tight. Okay, so now for my armhole, the armhole I'm working with is 13 inches. I'm going to divide it by 2, and I add 1.5 inch to it. 1 is for seam allowance, and the 1/2 inch is remember, it's a curve and it shouldn't be too tight, so we are adding 1/2 inch just for it to ease it up a bit. And 13 divided by 2 is going to give me 6.5. So 6.5 plus 1.5 is going to give me 8 inches. So the 8 inches is what I'll be using to fold my fabric. This is folded into 2 because I'm cutting the front and back together. Okay, so now I'm going to measure 8 inches. Okay, so I measured 8 inches from up here, and I made it into a straight line. And the sleeve length I'm working with is 10 inches plus 1 inch allowance, which is going to make it 11 inches. So this is 11 inches here, and then I'm going to draw a straight line also. So this means that this is what I need. This space is what I need to work with for my basic sleeve, and I can actually cut off the excess so that it doesn't get confusing. Okay, so now we have this to work with as our pattern. So the first thing I'm going to do now is to fold in my 1 inch allowance for my sleeve length. Okay, you can actually measure this or just eyeball it if you can, but for the purpose of this tutorial I'm just going to eyeball it, and I'm sure this is going to give me around 1 inch. So you can see this is 1 inch exactly. So I'll fold in my 1 inch like this, and then I'm going to continue my drafting. Okay, I'll explain why I'm folding it in as we go on with the tutorial. So now I have exactly 10 inches to work with for my sleeve. So now the first thing I'll do is to measure my cap's height. So the cap's height can be from 3 to 4 inches. I usually use 4 inches, but for this sleeve is for a small size, so I'll be going with 3.5 inches. So just from the upper part here, I'll measure 3.5 inches down like this on the side that is opened, not on the, remember this is the fold point, this is the folded part, this is the front, and this is the back. Okay, so I'll measure 3.5 inches downwards, and then I'm going to take my ruler and then connect it to the upper part here diagonally. So once I connect it like this, I'll take my tape rule and then divide this new line into 2. Okay, I just fold my tape rule over. I divide it into 2, and then divide each of this into 2 again. So basically I'm just dividing the new diagonal line into 4. Okay, that is what I'm doing. So after dividing it into 4, you have 1 2 3 4. I can label each point, this point X, this Y, and this point Z, so that we can understand it better. Okay, for the front part on point Z, I will go out here by 0.75 inch. That's 3/4. On point Y, I'm going to leave it like that for the front, and on point Z, I'm going to go in by 1/2 inch. Okay, on point X, out by 0.75, leave Y, and on point Z you go in by 0.5 inches. So now to connect it, you're just going to connect from this point to your 0.75 to point Y to 0.5 on the Z, and then back to this point using a curved ruler. So you just need to take them together. If you don't have a ruler that can take everything together, you can do them in bits. So I'm connecting from Y to my 0.75 here, and then from my Y, I'll connect my Z up to the final place here. So now I've connected it, and this is for my front pattern. So now for the back pattern, you are taking 1/2 inch here, because remember when you are drafting your basic sleeve, basic bodice pattern, on the armhole area we normally go in by 1/2 inch before we draw our cuff. So this is where I'm taking this here. But for the back, remember we don't take any 1/2 inch for the back, we just connect our cuff like that. So on this point Y, remember we did not touch point 1 for the front, but for the back I'll be going out here by either 1/2 inch or 0.75 here for the back alone. So let me just roll it so that we will see it well. Okay, so this is for the back, and the connection we are doing for the back is just from here up to this point and then back to this place, and then we are almost done with drafting our sleeve. It is that simple. For front we are not touching the Y part, but for the back we need it to extend our sleeve. So now I have this curved one is for my front, and this other one here is for my back. Now the next thing for me is to shape my sleeve by taking my round sleeve measurement. My round sleeve measurement is 13 inches plus seam allowance. 13 inches divided by 2 is going to give me 6.5. So I have 6.5 here, and then I'm going to use the curved side of my ruler, not too curved, just a little bit, and then I'm going to connect it to where my calf's height is, which is my underarm area, and then we are ready to cut out our sleeve. So that's how you draft your basic sleeve. It's very simple. To cut it out, you just need to cut off this part first. When you are done cutting it, remember the front part has a curve, so you will need to cut out the back first. So I'm going to be cutting out my back curve like this. Okay, so once I'm done cutting the back, I'll just open up my sleeve like this, and then I can now shape out my front. You can see how easy it is to draft your basic sleeve. Okay, so this is what our sleeve is looking like. This is the center, this is the back, and this is the front. So now the sleeve length is dependent on how long you want it to be. Like I said, you can reach your wrist or anywhere you want it to be. Now let's bring out our allowance, our 1 inch allowance that we left. You can see the reason why I actually folded it in is that so that when I want to hem it, I won't run into problem, because assuming I didn't fold it, I'd have just shaped it like this, and it's going to take off this little part, and it's going to affect it when I'm folding it in. So when you're drafting, it is always advisable for you to fold in your allowance before you continue with your drafting. I hope this tutorial is very simple for you to understand, and if you encounter any challenges, let us know in the comment section. See you in the next one. Thank you for supporting our channel. Bye.